Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Community Roundtable devoted to arguably the hottest topic ever in the history of education. When I say the words GenAI, you immediately understand what I'm talking about. That revolution that is shaken up everything we used to know about teaching and learning. Well, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it gets right to the heart of what it means to teach young people and to learn ourselves how to be innovative in the 21st century. So thanks a lot for joining us. We're living in a super exciting time when there seems to be one technological innovation after the other in very short time frames, right? What is it like to be living at this moment, studying at this moment, working at this moment?
I think it's definitely mind-blowing, but mind-growing at the same time. There are many new qualities we need that we didn't need that much in the past. Like in industrial society, we really focus on remembering facts, like how to produce this thing with a machine, but now remembering is more like solving problem is more important than remembering facts. Yeah, so my feeling is there are many, with the changing of philosophies and the format of human living, there are many more new qualities that we have to grow.
For me, it's exhilarating and terrifying at the same time. And I'm referring to two technologies specifically, artificial intelligence and genetic modification. So whether it's wielding the power to fundamentally transform our DNA and identity, or having the capacity to access all the knowledge and information in the world, with great power comes great responsibility. So I think this really raises the importance of, as our mission statement says, take stewardship of our future.
I think that's why it's a very relevant conversation at the school, because I think the pace is only going to increase, and it can be very unsettling for students or younger generation that are not comfortable with constant change. I don't think it's natural for us to be in that state.
What's your favorite innovation? Just makes you really excited about living in the 21st century at this moment?
I think my favorites would be large language models, AI.
Okay.
The knowledge and information is so accessible right now. But for me, I feel like I could have a thought partner for 24/7 there. And so whenever right now, if I have something like, I have a thought, I need someone to discuss with me, and you can just make sure that everybody's going to be available whenever you want to chat. So I can put my thoughts into the chat box and having this conversation and asking, what do you think? How can I make it better? And because I know this is experts, well, not 100% reliable, but always kind of like experts could talk to me, give me some of the thoughts. And I find that this is really helpful.
I think my favorite coding application is MakeCode. I really like it because it makes coding much easier and more accessible to understand. So recently in class, Mr. Flanagan and Wang has been guiding us through MakeCode to create our own heroes, and they explain their character strengths. So I think it's fun and inspiring. So I believe these innovative tools, it's very important.
Student Innovation Lab you mentioned earlier on that will be launching this summertime for the first time. How is that program organized, and how will it try to grapple with some of these challenges?
First of all, we recognize every student is different learner. They have different learning needs, different learning styles. So we want to give students autonomy. Since they can choose the project where they can go, and also want to equip students' skills. And so we do not want to have traditional just sitting here listening. We want everybody to learn from making stuff. So all of the different set of the skills actually designed through this different hands-on activities. And by the end of, while they learned all of the skills, they're going to choose one goal by themselves. And when we're thinking about, students need to choose one goal, but how can they really make this technology innovation for good? Not only just, so I'm going to choose one random goal, just making candy or something, but how can you make candy? Maybe you collect the money and donate it to charity, which charity needs it the most. So then we connect with sustainable global goals, SDG, and so we're thinking about how we can make students feel like the needs, because we're in the class, but we want to bridge from class to the real world. And after this, we're thinking about, okay, so this program has very limited period. How can we just continuously and encourage students learning beyond this summer? So we thought about how we can equip students with skills as well as resources. For example, robotics track, and all students will leave the program after they finish that to bring their own robot set, and with a source of the challenges they can continue to explore during the summer. And with AI track, and students will know how to use all different AI platforms, as well as like this kind of bond being created with their teammates during the challenges. And they're also gonna have this hackathon-ish, and we have professional experts from the industry, like entrepreneurship incubators and the top gaming companies, and they're going to send a team to support students throughout the whole program, even after the program, and they will offer a lot of different mentorship for this top three teams. And so we really want to set it as a fun program. They learn stuff while students don't realize they're learning stuff, and because they're finishing sorts of challenges, and also kind of really engage them and to really make them to explore their interests and how they can continue to develop those interests and skills like even after the program.
Maybe we can dig a little bit more deeply into the topic of AI. Can we understand it to start off with?
Generative AI is a type of AI that generates new content, and it could be text, image, sound, video, and the way it does that is you have to give it lots and lots of examples, and by a lot I mean the internet's worth of examples. And what it does is it's got a network of numbers, okay, it's called a neural net. It tries to codify what you've shown it into this abstract network, a neural net. And when you give it a new input, something it hasn't seen before, like a new prompt or a new instruction, it'll be able to create something original, something new based on what it's learned. So it essentially generates and creates new original content.
For like the knowledge and the skills and the dispositions that we should be teaching students.
And other things, I think the most interesting applications will be not the obvious ones, because a lot of people are working on the obvious ones, autonomous driving and robots and so on, but it's going to be going into everything, just like electricity today. I think it's important to talk about the concept of relearning. I read a book called Think Again by Adam Grant, and you, several of us alluded to it. We have to be really comfortable about have the intellectual humility to question what we thought we knew, or what we know today, and look at evidence, and not just, I have a personal example. When I was in school, I would try to learn by remembering and try to get the right answer. And that only works when the equations don't change. But the problem is now the facts and the physics of what's possible is changing at a scale of every week. So like you said, remembering is not very important anymore. It's, do you understand the mechanics enough to kind of, when you take in some new evidence, say, okay, you know what, I need to update my worldview. Like, this doesn't fit my knowledge base anymore, and I kind of need to update that. That is a skill that I think needs to be taught.
What do you find that's really helpful about AI?
I think I mainly use AI to seek inspiration. For example, I create a chat on Flint. I create chats on Flint and I ask them about my different subjects, and I might ask them to write an example of this particular task. And then I kind of break down I kind of break down its understandings of the teacher's expectations, and I try to meet those expectations by myself.
Could you give us an example? Like, what would be like a good example of that?
Recently, we've been writing evaluations for methods in science class. So I asked AI to generate a method based on an experiment idea, and then evaluate its strengths and weaknesses and how they make the data collection more fair.
Do you find like it's scary at all?
I think that it's we shouldn't be that scared. I learned a sentence by Confucius in a Chinese class. Confucius said, 君子以物而不以义物. It means we should make use of the tools instead of being controlled by the tools. I think this is really helpful when we use AI. So, for example, if we let AI just help us write our stories or solve math problems, we will never learn.
Yeah, wow, so wise. Goodness, thank you very much, Alexandra.
Something about generative AI we could be scared about is extending control and surveillance over what we type into the bots, or more widely our actions. For example, in English class, we've been reading a short story about AI that tells of an insurance company's AI bot adjusting its insurance premiums based on its analysis of the user's activities. AI might try to add financial incentives to its objective function.
Do you feel like as generative AI becomes a little bit like electricity, as Austin was saying, and it's everywhere and everything, that there'll still be something left for us as like humans?
I think as educators, we definitely need to not teach the students how to just use AI, but how to collaborate with AIs, using the unlimited creativities in their brain to work with AI, not just using AI to do their work.
Like Confucius was saying,
Yeah.
don't be controlled by the tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, be the master of it.
I do have a concern with very young children using AI, because the difference with young students and us is that their brain is developing much faster and much more than we do. Our brain is definitely growing too, if not going down, but their brain is developing every day at an amazing speed. If the relying on the AI gives them the habit of not using their brains as much, does it affect their brain development? And if this generation's brain doesn't develop as much as they should be, then what does it do to human? What does it do to human, future?
Great point.
That's my concern, my thoughts, but I don't have an answer. So I do see the students in my class, when they try to write something, sometimes they want to say, hey, can we use Flint to give us a starter of our story? I feel, you are just using your brain for a few minutes. Can you use it for longer? But I also see many good uses of AI, like how they collaborate with the scientists, how we can use Flint, our trained AI, to evaluate their oral presentation from a very fair perspective. So yeah, many things to think about, but there must be a lot we can do with AI and education.
I think AI can analyze data and find patterns within the snap of a finger. But something AI can't do is maybe have empathy towards other people and be able to conduct social interactions that are actually meaningful and touching, as well as using common sense and critical thinking. Yeah, these are skills we could maybe develop more in schools, such as through project-based learning and collaboration opportunities.
Many, many thanks, everybody, for tuning into this month's Community Roundtable, and heartfelt gratitude to our terrific panelists for shedding such inspirational light on what is a complicated topic, but nonetheless, and quite paradoxically, one which is at the essence of what it means to be a human being in our times. All the very best to you, and please take care.